Are you a parent feeling overwhelmed by your child's constant tantrums, constant meltdowns, and constant emotional outbursts? Or do you find yourself walking on eggshells, never knowing what might trigger that next 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds explosion? Well, parents, you're definitely not alone. In fact, according to Johns Hopkins, 1 in 5 children today have a diagnosis where they struggle mentally, emotionally, or behaviorally. That's a staggering number because the average American household has 2 children. So that means nearly 1 kiddo with these struggles for half of the US. And it doesn't even account for the many families struggling that don't have a formal diagnosis. But here's the thing. What if I told you that these challenging behaviors often stem from an imbalance in your child's nervous system? What if there was a way to address these issues without relying on medications? So today, we're going to explore a groundbreaking approach that could transform your family's life. So if you're a parent who is exhausted from dealing with your child's frequent tantrums, frequent meltdowns, and frequent emotional outbursts, and you're seeking drug-free solutions to help your child out, stick around because this video is for you. We'll dive deep into the neuroscience behind behavior issues and how neurologically focused chiropractic care can help restore balance to your child's nervous system. You'll learn about the root causes of these behaviors and discover a drug-free approach to help your child regulate their emotions and behavior more effectively. So let me tell you about our sweet patient, Luke. Mom of Luke explains that when Luke was just 2.5 years old, he went from this sweet, smiling little boy to acting out, experiencing tantrums, crying spells, and explosive angry reactions. Sound familiar? When triggered, his anger would escalate quickly. He would yell, he would stomp, call himself stupid, and at times even hit himself. And after several years, it had directly impacted his self-esteem, as you can imagine. So with every reaction, every angry outburst, and every tense moment, the family grew more and more desperate. They began to feel a weight of heaviness in their home, understandably. Luke's family had numerous conversations with their pediatrician, weekly sessions with a child therapist, meetings with school teachers, but they longed for peace for Luke and couldn't find it. And after an extremely explosive event at a martial arts competition, they knew they needed a completely different approach to help him out. They had heard about PX docs from a friend, so they decided to take a chance and get him started right away. And with consistency and time, the chiropractic care he received helped rewire and re-regulate Luke's nervous system. They began to see big changes in him. Mom told our doc team that after 3 or 4 months, they began to notice that Luke appeared so much calmer. They noticed him begin to use words to express how he felt. He was less anxious, less combative, less intense. He began to smile more and started playfully joking around with his family again. He still has his frustrating moments, but he has learned to recognize when he is heightened and apply these strategies he has learned in therapy to calm down the nervous system and is now communicating with the rest of his body. So he's happier, he smiles a lot, jokes around, and is playful. He articulates his needs, he advocates for himself through words and not his reactions or explosive outbursts. Now, to get into the nerdy science behind these meltdowns and tantrums, traditional approaches typically try and modify the child's behavior by managing symptoms or through a system of rewards and punishments. Behavior specialists speak about learned behaviors or skill deficits and work hard to alter the external environment to support the child and then teach them new skills. And this can be great, but what about when the environment is full of modifications and all sorts of both parenting and professional help fails to get the results that we want? As neurologically focused chiropractors, sometimes we call ourselves PX docs, our approach is to look deeper and address the internal root cause rather than just modifying the environment. Because most children who struggle with frequent tantrums and meltdowns are actually having trouble with sensory overload and nervous system dysregulation. Sensory overload occurs when the brain is overwhelmed by excessive sensory stimuli, leading to a state of constant noise or confusion. Think of it like traffic on the highway. We have sensory information coming into our nervous system. Our brain is then supposed to be able to interpret that information, and then we need to coordinate and deliver an appropriate response. But if there's too much traffic on the highway or not enough maybe traffic control, the whole system becomes a disorganized and congested mess. This disrupts the normal regulation of the nervous system, particularly affecting the balance between the sympathetic fight or flight system and the parasympathetic resting and digesting system. And the result for your kiddo is a complete 0 to 60 full-blown meltdown and target because you pushed the cart when they wanted to, right? So the cause of nervous system dysregulation is referred to as subluxation. Subluxation It's a fancy chiropractic word. It means misalignments or dysfunctions in the neurospinal system or the spine. And these can interfere with the nervous system's ability to process that sensory information effectively. Remember our traffic on the highway analogy? Subluxation is like a big car wreck or road construction on the highway that disrupts the flow. This interference can exacerbate nervous system dysregulation, contributing to heightened sensory sensitivities and overload, or tantrums and meltdowns. When the system is dysregulated due to sensory overload and subluxation, it can lead to other significant behavior issues as well. Children may exhibit increased anxiety, irritability, and difficulty concentrating as their brain struggles to cope with the sensory chaos. This should all be in our minds right now as schools across the country are all starting back up again. How's your child's ability to sit in class? Root cause focused and drug-free interventions such as neurologically-focused pediatric chiropractic care aim to address subluxations and restore nervous system balance. By addressing the root causes, this form of care can help reduce sensory overload, improve nervous system regulation, and alleviate associated behavioral issues, leading to better overall functioning of your child. Parents, I want you to know there is hope. Your child's challenging behaviors are not simply a reflection of your parenting, nor are they something that your child will simply grow out of. They're often a sign that your child's nervous system needs some support. So imagine a future where your child can navigate their emotions more easily, where tantrums and meltdowns become less frequent, and where your whole family feels more balanced and connected. Just like Luke's story from before, this future can be possible with neurologically focused pediatric chiropractic care. So click the link in our bio to learn more and check out Dr. Tony Ebel, one of my greatest mentors. He's got an Experience Miracles podcast. He does a full episode on how to overcome constant meltdowns, constant tantrums, and emotional outbursts. Thank you.